We sent a poll out to over 2,000 music producers to find out what their main problems are that are holding them back from succeeding in the music industry. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video to hear the crazy advice from 2 full-time music producers that we interviewed. If you had to start from zero again, what would the steps be to finding success?
That's another gem I'll drop in here, yeah.
As well as an up-and-coming artist who is popping off on social media right now.
How do they connect? Advice for producers.
I've heard so many placement stories just from...
There are some gems in those interviews. The top 3 things producers voted for that they wanted to know more about were how to become a full-time music producer, how to find artists and cater beats for them, and how to network in the industry, collab, and get into studio sessions. Before we get into the interviews, we want to give you guys the networking source that has helped us to get into studio sessions across Europe, get placements in different countries, and also to be able to set up both the interviews that you're about to see later in this video.
We're gonna cut straight to the point. The easiest and best way to network with producers and get into studio sessions is by having a good, solid brand. Once you have a good brand, it is basically a free pass into studio sessions, big producers' DMs, and to be able to collab with anybody you want, assuming you're not a weird guy. We talk about having a brand in pretty much every single video, but we cannot stress how important it is to really have a good brand. If you want to know more about branding and how to build a brand, a couple months ago we did a full video on branding, and even though it is a bit older, there are still some very relevant things in there that will definitely help you guys out. So that link will be in the description. The way we were able to get into studio sessions overseas was pretty simple, just by asking. The amount of producers we messaged in Europe was insane, and from about 50 people we asked, we got about 5 or 6 studio sessions. However, from those sessions, we've been featured in YouTube videos, we've got multiple unreleased songs with artists, but more importantly, we've got good, solid relationships with people from different cities around Europe that we've always got whenever we go back there. And the knowledge and source we gain from the conversations with these people are priceless. FNR Beats are an insane producer duo who we met in London, and they're also going to be dropping some source later in this video. We DM'd them when we were in London, they invited us to pull up to the studio, we made beats, talked shit, but we weren't trying to impress them or do anything different that we usually would to try and look cool. We were just our genuine selves, which is a super important thing to do, especially when you're meeting in person and even when you're messaging on social media with other producers. We now have a connection with them and we continue to work with them. Something that's super overlooked with networking is literally just asking people for things. Producers have a weird conception that asking for things will make them seem weird and even arrogant. However, this is not the case. Another thing to keep in mind is the power of networking is far greater than you think. Through FNR, we've built connections with 2 artists, one of which we're interviewing later in this video, which just goes to show, from just one link up, if you make a good impression, your name and reputation spreads far further than just the people you meet up with. As we mentioned before, FNR are a producer duo from London. They've got some insane drill songs with big artists, and these guys are the funniest people we met while we were overseas. So we're about to ask them your guys' questions about how they became full-time music producers and how you guys can do it as well.
Alright, we'll just ask you guys some questions then, eh? Is that all good?
Alright, cool. Yeah.
How long have you been full-time music producers, and how long did it take to get to full-time from when you started?
We've been full-time producers for probably about 3 years now. Yeah, so we've been doing it for five years now. First 2 years we were still working at our job. The 3 years after that, yeah, that's when we've been full-time. We had a very quick kind of journey, yeah, our growth into the music game was kind of very rapid, faster than normal, to be honest.
Was there any moment or multiple moments that you're like, we made it, we're doing it?
The turning point. Was there a significant turning point?
There's actually a few I can think of right now. But I feel like the first one for me was when one time we went away, me, Rent and Rhino, we went away to Leeds, an area in the UK.
Yeah.
Bro, we're not known there, nothing, we haven't really been there like that. I remember we had a long night, was at studio working. These guys woke up in the morning to go get food. But when they went to go get food, I was still sleeping, so I was like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna chill. 20 minutes after they'd gone, Rhino FaceTime me, I've answered the FaceTime call, and there's 10 kids, FNR first! Nah. I was like, oh shit. Then Rhino flipped the camera and they're taking pictures with Rens and shit, I was like, oh shit. Yeah, they was just saying I'm tagging shit, so that was kind of oh shit, that's changed. I feel like that one probably stood out for me the most, getting recognized. And
especially in somewhere that's not home to us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. What do you think the biggest song is that you've landed, that most people recognize you for that song? Is there any one song where most people know you for that?
Yeah, local scammer.
Yeah, that's a...
I think that's the one, yeah.
No Respawn as well, eh?
Oh yeah, No Respawn. Serious song. Can't forget No Respawn as well.
Did you think of a turning point, Rens?
I can't lie. There was one session that we had with the session with Hargo.
Hargo Productions.
Yeah, that guy's crazy.
You know Hargo, he's been in the producing game for years. So literally being in the studio with him, then he heard our tag and he was like, bro, like, what? That's you lot. Like, he looked mad shocked. We were kind of looking to him when we was on the come up.
On the car, yeah, that was crazy. I ain't gonna lie, yeah.
What are one or two things that producers should do or should follow to just like set themselves up for success?
One thing that I'll say that I live by is something that I always I understood from when I first started producing was that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You listen twice as more than you speak. Feel me? Whatever room you're in, wherever you are, if it's a studio, you're listening to a beat, you're listening to someone give you advice, just listen and don't talk at all. Feel me? You've got 2 ears, just take it at best. That's definitely important for producers. And one thing that I don't really see a lot of producers talking about, which is very important, is YouTube, bro. YouTube and the internet, bro. Literally, it will make you as big as whatever you want to be, bro. You feel me?
One thing that I like to tell producers is, listen like you're making a melody and he said, oh, I don't like that. Sometimes you just gotta kind of tell the artist, chill out. Because we're in our kind of creative process, you know what I'm saying? So don't let someone dim what you're doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you think that's hard, so you just believe in your source.
If you had to start from zero again, no placements, no connections, but you knew each other, what would the steps be to finding success?
I would definitely be more confident in how I approach people and like going to more events and stuff like that. I feel like back then we focused on how to produce and make beats, but we didn't network from early. Now I kind of understand the importance of networking. Like, bro, I could be in my Uber and the Uber driver could know someone that knows someone. So you're always 3 people away from knowing someone big, to get what I'm trying to say. So I feel like that's one thing that I would change, is being more accessible in networking and being more open to networking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't lie, bro. I'll probably say the same thing. Knowing how to do business from early, knowing how to work, like talk to managers and stuff.
Work on contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like what even Renzo said, to add on to it, is kind of knowing the ins and out. The music game is literally business. Definitely important. So it's definitely important.
Yeah, so business and
Networking.
Yeah, and in-person events. Do you think meeting up in person is underrated?
I would say,
Nah, I wouldn't say it's underrated. I feel like it's needed. The one person in our life that kind of changed our whole music journey and that helped us. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't really be where we are right now. We met him in person, if you get what I'm trying to say. And we met him through a friend. You get what I'm saying? Another producer, Able to Plug. Literally, he changed our whole journey, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? Obviously, we're always thankful for that as well. But that's another gem I'll drop in here, yeah? A lot of guys feel like they can't start what they're doing, their journey, their music journey, their producer journey, because they don't have the right equipment. Don't wait to get all the nicest equipment. Don't wait for any of those things. I mean, when Rems and I first started, bro, we was making beats out of my TV speakers. And we used to connect to the HDMI, yeah, like, bro, we weren't even hearing the 808 or nothing, to get saying, and I feel like that makes people procrastinate a lot. Look at the MacBook that I made local scammer on. You get what I'm saying? That MacBook was basically the oldest thing in the world, ancient, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, that shit was like, it was one of the fat, chunky ones that you feel me?
Thank you guys. That was insane. There's gems in there.
Thank you guys, bro. Come on, man.
Absolute sauce from that call, boys. These guys literally did what they said to become full-time music producers. The most important takeaways from that call were, 1, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. That's something that if you're an aspiring producer, you always need to keep in mind. 2, the power of the internet. Just as Foam said, it can make you as big as you want to be. And the most important takeaway, the power of networking. FNR met one producer who changed their life, opened up so many more opportunities than they'd had before, which helped them hugely to become full-time producers. One contact can change it all. As we mentioned before, FNR introduced us to an artist who is popping off on social media right now. Here's Jay Verse, who's about to drop some sauce about the right ways to find artists, reach out to them, and build with them.
How's it going?
It's going great, man. I had a studio session right before this.
So we've got a few questions and yeah, we'll just shoot them at you.
Yeah, let's do it.
What elements of a beat make a difference or stand out to you? Like when you're looking for a beat you're trying to record?
I would say, honestly, even when I work with producers, it's so hard to tell them what I want. I know what I like, but there's no, like, you can't say type beat anymore. Like, I want a beat like this. Really, I look for space, like simplicity. But then again, if it's too simple and there's nothing there, then it's difficult. I would say simplicity first, and then also the main melody. If it links with my voice straight away, like as soon as I start singing on it or coming up with melodies, like as soon as I feel it and I start pacing around the room, that's when I know I mess with the beat. So that's really it. But I need space for my voice so I could do the heavy lifting to make, strong hooks and stuff.
Definitely. I think a lot of producers overcomplicate their beats. They don't leave that room for an artist to do their thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Next one, I'm sure you've had this quite a lot, like especially recently, you're fucking taking off on social media. As an artist, when producers try to hit you up to send you beats and like work with you and shit, what are the red flags that they do when they're like DMing you or like emailing your management?
It's just hard to trust people in the beginning. explaining. I hate explaining like what I want. You know what I mean? It's just I usually go off the first thing, like the first thing that they send me. If it's that normal generic trap, instantly that's what pisses me off. If it's like, oh yeah, I got these beats that I think you're gonna like sound great on, you'll like it. And it's like it's not experimental and something different. That's my red flag. But really, nothing annoys me because you never know a person off of an email or a text. You know.
That's true.
You said that you work with one or two or however many producers closely and you really like their sound. So what is it with those producers that you really like about them, and why do you keep working with them to this day?
Really only the closest producer I work with is Kuda. We've been working for maybe like almost 2 years. I like his sound in terms of he uses like a lot of synths, and I like that. I do like that. It's also mainly about percussion. He finds pockets that I can come up with new flows. You know, sometimes if I hear like a rim or like a snare in a certain point, it makes me just change up my cadence and like surprises me because like, oh, I didn't do that before, and that's because of this one drum. You know what I mean?
What would be your advice for producers who are trying to find artists to work with, just like anywhere in the world? How do they connect? Advice for producers.
Lock in with one artist first. Build an artist as you go, because these people like Metro Boomin and 21 Savage, you know, that producer artist duo like coming up, building together, it helps the producer and the artist equally. You know what I mean? Not always worrying about money. Don't get scammed. You feel me? Know your worth. Make sure people pay for your beats and stuff. But if you're working with that one artist, don't OD it with the money. Just focus on coming up with them. That's what me and my producer do right now. It's like he believes in me, so we do splits.
Yeah.
And then another thing is just shooting your shot. Like I've heard so many placement stories just from like comments on YouTube or like anything. You know what I mean? Even like what I do with the hustling thing with singing to people. Take a USB, throw it on stage, you know. Something, anything. Just try anything, because at least you'll be like, okay, I did it, but okay, nothing happened.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So do you and your producer Kuda, do you guys work together in person?
Yeah. He's in Melbourne, so we work together in person.
So do you think producers should look at their own city, see what the scene is like there, and maybe try to find artists in their own city that they can personally work with?
Yeah, I think so. I would say working in person is way better, but if you really have a good connection, the producers getting the style of how you are and stuff, don't, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If you could work online, do it.
Is it Kuda? How did you meet him? Like, did you find him through YouTube, Instagram?
I just did my first like ever show. I used to sing on my school as well, in my high school. He was working in, I think it was Target or something. Somebody mentioned my name to him, and then he checked me out and he invited me to this show that he was holding. It was a small show, but I was like psyched for it. And then we met like that. Somebody told him like you should lock in with one artist, so he picked me because I performed and I don't know, he just believed in me. So
That's sick, bro. Thank you for your time.
all good, bro. I appreciate y'all.
Again, some absolute gems from J-Verse. Definitely take some notes from that call. I think the most important takeaways from this is 1, simplicity is a key with attracting artists to your beats. However, you still need an element of creativity and unique source that no other producer has. Number 2, I really like what J-Verse said when he said throw a USB on the stage. Shoot your shot, put yourself out there, go to music events, go to shows, give people Instagram, talk to people that you usually wouldn't. J-Verse is a perfect example of somebody doing this on the artist side. He just goes out in public, throws himself out there, and he does not give a fuck what anybody thinks. If you never try something, you will never know how it would have gone. And most importantly, from J-Verse, build with one artist. Don't worry about getting paid at the start. Go for the splits and create a sound. That's the best way to go about it.
Big shout out to FNR and J-Verse for letting us interview them and giving their advice to you guys. If you like this style of video, let us know in the comments. Hopefully you took something away from this video that can help you. Cheers for watching. See you in the next video.